Oh, we're good. We're good. That was
Yeah, I
so
got it.
weird. Okay.
It's like reset.
Yeah. All
Happy
right. Oh my
Monday
God.
reset.
Happy Monday for real. Like, I don't know what YouTube was trying to do just now.
It was a test. You
Mama,
know they had to start off the week
mama.
with a test. Yes. And happy June.
Yes, happy
It's a whole
June.
new month.
It's the first Monday of June. It's a huge deal, right? It's a huge deal because summer
Yes.
is around the corner, right? Summer is right around the corner. So we're getting
Yes, it
little like,
is.
flashes of summer. At least here in New England,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yeah.
little flashes of summer. Elsewhere, I know it's probably, been shining bright and nice
Oh,
and
talk
warm
about it.
weather. But we're getting just little flashes here and there, which
Mm-hmm.
is exciting. And then also, I'm always excited for a new month because that just means that I get a chance to. I mean, I know it's arbitrary, but I also just in my mind, I'm like, I get a chance to just kind of look forward, like, where are we with new goals for this month? And
Yeah.
we're ending the quarter two,
Quarter.
and I
Yep.
mean, there's just so much going on that I'm like, June is my goddaughter is born in
Mama,
June.
Oh wow.
Juneteenth is in June.
mama,
Yep.
mama.
I mean, it's an
Father's Day is
important
in June.
Father's
Yeah.
Day. That's right. Shout
Yeah.
out to all the fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Father's Day is
Mm-hmm.
in June. There's a lot going on in this month.
Yeah. June is a good month.
Yeah,
June
it
is always a good
is.
month. It's
Is it
always been a good
always?
month.
It's a good month. It's going to be a
It's
good month.
yeah, it's always been a good month for us. But yeah, I missed y'all last week. My baby girl had
Yes.
volleyball, so I had to go support her. They didn't win the championship, but they came in second place. But they had a good
Yay.
yeah, we had a good time. I'm telling you, there were teams from all over. The team we lost to was from New York, upstate New York. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, those girls, I was like, I don't
Kill.
think they're in our division. Yeah, they were good. I mean, they were a really good team. Our girls held their own as much as they could. We had
Hmm.
an injury, but aside from that, like they had a really good time. And
Nice.
it was their last. It was their last, tournament. So they won't be together until it starts up again, later on this year for next
Oh,
season. But
well,
yeah, we
good
had a
for
good
them.
time. Yeah,
Good for
I missed
them.
y'all. I did miss y'all.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm sure that, I mean, I know I missed you. I missed the conversations, and I'm sure that everybody else did because you know what? Our conversation, we be getting into it. We
we
be getting
do.
Mama,
deep,
We do.
so it's really good. What is Junior doing?
I don't know. He's like rubbing his hand on my shirt. Like I think he's trying to wipe his hands on my shirt. I don't know,
Oh,
but if it's keeping him content, we just
yes.
gonna let him do it. We gonna let him do it.
Oh man.
But
So
yes, yes,
today you wanted to talk about hydration. We talk about the power
absolutely.
hydration. And I think it's a
Yes,
good time to talk about it because we're going to go into our ultimate hydration challenge in 2 weeks, right?
yes.
So it's in 2 weeks, today, right? So Monday, June 19th. So right on
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, on
Mm-hmm.
Juneteenth, on Juneteenth, we're going to be starting the 3-day ultimate hydration challenge. So this is good. It's a good conversation
Yes.
to start thinking about some of those things. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to get into it.
Absolutely. Can I just tell you? Well, I mean, I guess I'll get into it in a little bit, but like last year we went through so many watermelons. Like I don't know what was going on, but like this household, my husband would get
He's
like
being
four
extra,
at a time. But you
he's
know what I'm realizing? Okay, so
fulfilling
I don't
all the
know how.
stereotypes, Ness. No.
Listen, watermelon is good. I don't know how
Watermelon is good.
it's just good. Like you got to
I
know
also love watermelon. It's not because I'm black.
like. And what's wrong with us liking things that are good for our bodies? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
I
right.
mean, they could.
That's right.
There's other stereotypes that are not so good. So yes, we like watermelon. We like hydrating our bodies. We like
Yeah,
doing
you can
things
have
that we
positive
enjoy.
stereotypes too now.
Yeah, like
We
who
can flip
cares?
it to be positive.
But I do think we should get into it at some point. So what I was going to say is that they don't have seeds, and so I was like telling my husband, no, we
Oh
want the
no,
ones
we
with
want the
seeds.
seeds. Yep.
Get the
Yep.
ones with seeds. They're a little bit more pricey, but they're worth it, right? So get the ones with seeds.
Right.
We eat the seeds.
Mm-mm.
Like I eat my apple seeds. Like there's nothing wrong with the seeds.
Okay,
So
I don't eat the seeds, but I definitely want my watermelon to be able to be life producing.
right, and it has
You
to have seeds to
understand?
be life producing.
But you eat the seeds.
I eat the
Ew.
seeds.
Ew, that's
And
not
so
gross.
like
That it tastes nasty to me. Like, you know, watermelon seeds, any kind of seeds to me, when they taste like they could be ground up and used as pesticides. Like, I don't know. Like to me they just taste that bad. Like it's just like this is chemical. It's not, but it tastes that way to me. I just cannot. I absolutely cannot do
I think maybe if you change your mindset and think, oh, this is life.
it. Sure. 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 Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
this
it's
is
that.
life. And like my daughter saw me the other day, she's like, "Ma, why do you always eat the seeds?" And because like I seen it, she like cut her apple and she's about to throw the seeds. I'm like, "No, give me the seeds." She's like, "Ma, why do you always eat the seeds?" I'm like, "They're good for
Oof.
you.
Only seeds
Good
I
for
eat
you."
are sunflower seeds,
I like sunflower
like
seeds
the
too.
rest of the world. But that's
Some,
okay. That's all right.
but y'all
No,
missing y'all missing out on
put
all
that in
this
a group.
B.
Put that in a group. Do y'all eat y'all watermelon
Your fruit
seeds? And
seeds. Yeah, do
do
you
you do
eat your
that?
fruit seeds? Yeah, I'm telling you. Watermelon, apple seeds are really good because they have all of the vitamin B, B17, B12, all of the B's in them, which are super good. And I mean, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you to eat them.
No, I mean, no, you're right. It doesn't hurt, but no, that's okay. I don't eat the corks from the apples either. You know how you can eat the entire apple as
Yeah,
edible.
I don't eat that part.
I don't do
I'll
that.
dig out the seed.
No,
You just
doesn't
okay, so
taste
like
good.
no, I don't like sit with like seeds in my hand only like if my daughter's getting ready to throw them away.
That is what I'm imagining. I'm imagining you
No,
like daughter, give me all your seeds. And you just with a bag of seeds, like but give me a little bit of that sea
no.
salt on
So
these seeds. That's
okay.
what I'm imagining. You just
No,
feasting on
I'm
seeds,
just
and I
sitting there
can't.
eating, watching
Yeah,
something or reading something, eating seeds. No,
yeah.
like if I'm eating the apple and the seed is there, I see the seed, I make it a point to eat it. Like I'll eat it in a bite of the regular apple. I just
Okay.
eat it and just chew it up. You don't even know what's there. I mean, you can kind of taste it, but it's not nothing to like, deter you from eating the apple.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
to each their own, right? So,
Yeah. Well, let's get
okay,
into this. Let's get into this
yeah,
hydration
let's
because
get into
this all
it.
started from the watermelon. But yeah, we do eat a lot of watermelon in this house, and I don't feel bad about it. I don't care. We should talk about how to prepare the watermelon, like what you look for in the watermelon, the
Oh yeah,
sunspot,
even
the
when it's even in season,
season. Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah,
Because
because
my
I
husband
can't
was
have
like,
no pale looking watermelons with what I'm talking about, with no
"No, I
seeds.
do, I do, I
They
do know what
sell
you're
those
talking
year
about."
round in the store. There's a reason why.
Let me tell you, my husband was trying to get some a couple weeks ago, and I was like, they're not in season yet. He's like, well, they're not grown in the United States. I was like, they're still not in season yet. Like, I don't care where they tell you they were grown. They're
They're
not in
being grown
season
in the
yet.
lab. They're being grown in the lab is where they're being grown
Stop
at too.
it. Yeah,
You
they don't have
understand?
seasons in the lab. Everything is in season in the lab. It's all temperature
Always,
control, climate control. So, yeah, no.
always.
And I was like, not yet. Those aren't the ones. Not yet. And those were seedless. Yeah, not yet. But
No,
yeah.
thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so
um,
hydration and
yes.
by the way, I know that this is all like we can get our hydration from eating these things, and that's what you were saying, right? Is that the
Yes, absolutely.
watermelons? Okay.
Yes. Yes. I'll tell you the percentage when we get further to it. But like we all know that we need to stay hydrated, and maybe we don't know, but it helps with our circulation, right? Because our plasma blood cells are 93% water, right? So we need that. We need to maintain that. It's also good for what they call thermal regulation. So like your body. So the water, how do I say this? The water in your body can take on heat at a greater degree than anything else within your body. So if you get too hot, what happens? You sweat. And as you sweat, when it evaporates, it's cooling your body. So that helps with your temperature regulation, right? So that's another thing. Digestion, your skin needs like your whole body just needs hydration, right? And so when you don't have enough water, there are some things that happen. And I'll tell you like some signs of dehydration, which some people probably know, but maybe don't necessarily know. But we need to remember that the proper amount of hydration depends on the individual, right? So there are some general numbers for men and for women, but there's real calculators out there. So when you're thinking about what is the amount of hydration that my body, and I'm saying hydration because it's not just water, it's hydration, like something that's going to hydrate your body. Yep. So for men, yes, for men, it's about 3.7 liters, which is 125 ounces. That's for men. That's like a general number. And then for women, it's 2.7 liters, which is 91 ounces. But If you don't know, if you're like, well, I need something a little bit more specific to me, general, there's calculators that are out there, and I have the calculators. I'll put them right in the community. But these calculators look at your age, your gender, your level of activity, if you have any health conditions, because there are certain health conditions, like, so say if you are dealing with conditions of the kidneys, you may be on fluid restrictions, right? Because they have to do your dry weight, and you know, you're going through, if you're on dialysis, they're trying to filter out the excess water. So there's certain conditions where you may be on restrictions for the amount of hydration you can take in. So they take all these calculators, take all of these factors into consideration: your climate, like where you're living, the amount of physical activity you do on a daily basis. Like all of these things are important to know what your specific requirements are for hydration. But like as a rough estimate, you just take your weight in pounds, divided by 2 or multiply it by 0.5. It's the same thing. So just take your weight in pounds, divided by 2, and that's roughly how many ounces you need per day.
Okay.
So if, say, a person was 150 pounds, 150 divided by 2 is 75.
Divided by 2.
So they can do between 75 ounces to up to 150 roughly per day. And that's just fluid, right? And so the fluid that we're taking in is, a lot of times it's water, but we can also get it from our food. So if a person is not properly hydrated, right, so they're not taking in enough fluid, there are some things that, some signs that your body's going to tell you, like, hey,
yes, there are.
I'm borderline dehydrated. We don't want to get there.
Right. We have to go into crisis mode. So
yeah, what is going on? What is going on? So the first thing is, like, you're thirsty. No, I just want to put a pin in this, because this happened to somebody that I know. This person was experiencing extreme thirst, like to the point where nothing was satisfying the thirst.
Oh, wow.
This person was drinking water, and I'm drinking soda, drinking, what do you call it? Salad dressing, just any type of liquid to try to satisfy this extreme thirst.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what it was? This person had undiagnosed diabetes that had gone out of control. So, you know, polyphagia, polydipsia, like all of these things, there's like how do I say this? Like a triad of symptoms that'll tell you, like, okay, you might be experiencing this. And this person had no idea. And they had to get like insulin. They had to, it was really bad. It was really, really, really bad. Almost to the point of like a coma bad. But it had gone on for days. And she just was like, I was so thirsty. I was drinking everything and nothing was satisfying that thirst. And I'm like, and you didn't think something was wrong? Like, not wrong, but like, you didn't think
going on.
Well, when you start drinking salad dressing to quench that thirst, that should have told you something is not right.
Right.
But yeah, exactly. Thank God she got there when she did, because they were like, ma'am, you were on your way into a coma.
Wow. Oh my God.
So that's just to say, listen to your body. When your body
that
is
could be a
telling
sign
you
you're extremely thirsty. It might be a sign if something is off.
Something else. It might be a sign of something else. So just keep that in mind. Just listen to your body. And if you're doing what you know to be the proper steps to, you know, correct whatever it is, right? You're thirsty, you hydrate your body with, you know, water or like, you know, electrolyte, something, right? You're trying to hydrate your body and it's still not doing it after a day or two. Follow up with your doctor, right? Like don't go days of just extreme thirst and nothing is quenching that, because it could be an indication of something else. So I say all of that to say, thirst is one of those signs that you're not, you know, that your body's like, hey, you know, fuel me. I need something, right? But your tongue is dry, your breath starts to stink, right? Your urine is dark, right? And that's if you can urinate, because sometimes if you are not taking in enough hydration, your kidneys don't have anything to filter, so you're not going to the bathroom as often. You're going like, you know, less than 3 times a day. That's an indication that maybe something is off. Sometimes headaches, when you're not getting enough hydration, you can get headaches. Your skin is dry, right? There's a lot of things. Your muscles start to cramp up. Like, so anytime the kids are like, oh, like, you know, my son's like, oh, my leg is cramped. I was like, drink some water. Drink some water. Like,
Right.
you know, that's like a low stakes. Like, see if that corrects it. And if that doesn't, then we'll go from there. But just start with that. You don't always have to medicate with something. Just listen, you know, like
right.
you were just outside working out, or you were just at practice, you know, you said you had a, you know, you had a bottle of whatever to drink, but maybe your body needed 2 bottles of water or whatever, right? So listen to your body, listen to your body. On the other side, right? So some people might be like, oh, well, I'm not drinking enough water. I need to drink. Well,
and they overhydrate.
You can have too much, right? There's a water intoxication, right? And so that is super dangerous, because what happens is you're throwing off the electrolytes within your body. So you're telling your body, I'm flooding you. So then potassium is intracellular. So your sodium goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're throwing off all your electrolytes, and then you can end up in a coma from water.
That's really scary. I remember I had some like IV treatment when I was you know, and anyway, I remember all these nurses coming in, they were like, oh my God, they're like, your potassium levels are low. And then, I mean, like, you would have thought that I was going into cardiac arrest, like how quickly they were moving on. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And they're like, basically,
your heart.
They were like, basically, you could die. Right, exactly. They're like, that's the thing, right? The electrolytes is electricity. It sparks up the thing that keeps the heart moving. Right. So it's like, no, I had no idea at that time. I was like, oh yeah, let's keep that heart working.
Yeah. So thank you for catching that.
So we're overhydrating. The idea is that, you know, it can lead to the organ failures, right? If I'm not mistaken, it can lead to the organ failures. Absolutely. And then we can go into like a cardiac arrest or some kind of other situation that we don't want to be in, or coma, like you said.
Yeah, your kidneys are like, oh, this is just too much for us to do. Like, everything shut down. We're overloaded right now. Everything just
that balance.
You do. So yes, the take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and you can do up to your weight in pounds or half, or just go online. They have free calculators, and it'll ask you really specific questions to help you get a better idea of what your specific needs are. So like,
please put that calculator in the group.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be very useful, especially, like I said, as we go into our ultimate hydration challenge, and people are going to want to know that for themselves. Through that.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that, so when you think of hydration, a lot of people think of just water, but again, you can get hydration from your food, right? And so I think they say like roughly 20% of what we take in is comes from your food, if I'm not mistaken, but it can be more, right? Depending on how
what kind of foods you're eating too.
That's true. And so what they consider good options for water content, or things that are good choices for hydration, is if it has 80% or more water content. So I have a whole list. I got a list. We're going to talk about some fruits and vegetables, because
let's get into it. Let's get into the list.
So I think our highest one, which is probably not really a surprise, was cucumbers.
Okay. Yeah.
96%. So for every 100 grams, 96 grams of that is just water. So cucumbers, I don't even have this in order, but I can kind of skim through it and find. So 96 was the cucumbers, then 95 lettuce. It's over 95, right? Well, that makes sense. Iceberg lettuce, all your lettuce is just water.
They say they don't have no nutrients, but they got that water.
They got that water.
They got some, iceberg in particular. They're like, you ain't got nothing in it.
Water.
Just water.
Like,
water that you eat. Might as well be chewing on ice.
Yeah. I mean, some people do. Some people do. Some people are ice chewers, which I've been told could be an indication of your iron levels. Somebody has that urge to just chew on ice. It's a good thing to maybe just have your iron checked. So finger prick. They can do it right from a finger prick. So then let's see. You like tomatoes?
I do like tomatoes. I wouldn't eat them like an apple. So, and the funny thing is that when I found out when I was a kid, I found out tomatoes are fruit. And, they look all like nice, and they look like they would taste really good just to like bite into. So I tried it once, and in my mind, I was like, "This is going to be so nice and juicy." And I bit into it, and I'm like,
This is
"Ew."
not at all what I thought it was gonna be. I mean, it is juicy, it's just not sweet.
Right. So I like tomatoes and like tomato cucumber salads, right?
Okay.
So that, I
Yeah.
like them that way. I like them, on salads in general. I like them as a part
Yeah.
of something, but not just like on their own unless it's a part of, like I said, the tomato cucumber salad, throw a little bit
Yep.
of olive oil on there and, some seasonings and
It
call it a
up.
day. I could eat it like that.
My daughter likes tomatoes like that. I thought that was, I mean, it's not strange, but like our neighbor has a
No
garden.
judgment.
Yeah. They would bring the tomatoes over, the peppers, the cucumbers, whatever. And my daughter, we wash them up and she would just, that's how she would eat them.
No,
So
I
I
can't. I
said,
can't just straight up get the
yeah.
tomato and be
So,
like, nah, I can't do that. I
so
can't do that. That's nasty to me.
I
But
can't eat it. I can eat it. I mean, but they're like, garden, they're fresh. So to me, just watching that did something to me. So I would just cut them up for her. I would just
I have a
baby
question
girl.
though. I have a question. So like, you know how sometimes people say, "Oh, I can have tomatoes, but I need to put a little salt on it or a little bit of seasoning." Does that counteract the
Oh, that's
hydration
a good
effort?
question. That's a
Okay,
good question
okay,
because you're
okay.
putting
We
in the
write it down
sodium.
and figure that out.
Yeah,
Right. That's what I'm
we'll get
wondering.
into that.
Okay.
Hmm, that's a good question. That's a good question. We'll get into that.
But
I'll look into that.
yeah, look into it, and then we can maybe maybe even next week. I don't know what you got
Yeah, I'll just throw it in
on the
there.
menu, but
Yeah,
hit
I
or
mean,
miss,
or I can
or
just
put it
at the
directly into the
beginning of.
community.
I could do both. I'll do both. How's that?
Cool.
But yeah, so I had to cut her tomatoes for her because it just the thought of just biting it like an apple. Just I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I didn't want to discourage her from eating them, so
Yeah.
put it in a different way.
Now I like fried green tomatoes. Those are good, but I know that's not the healthy way to eat them.
I've
But
never
I do.
had them.
Yeah, I think it might be a southern thing, but I like some fried green tomatoes. It tastes good.
What do
Let's
you eat
try 'em.
them with?
No, you just eat them by themselves. Sometimes they have a little dip with it, or but you just have it.
Really?
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, so what time of the day is this, like a breakfast thing or a lunch thing, or like what time of the day would you eat those?
I would eat it during the day. I wouldn't necessarily have a bunch of fried stuff in the morning. Personally, I would have it like a lunch
A
time.
lunch?
I would.
Um,
I tend to have it like that, like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. I mean, maybe I would try them. I don't know. You
Yeah,
know how I
but
am with finding things.
we use a lot of tomatoes in like Creole cooking,
Stew. Yeah. Hmm.
right? So like
Hmm.
like Louisiana Creole cooking, like we use a lot of the tomatoes in that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so I used to having tomatoes in my life, but like I said, just like you said, your daughter just taking the tomatoes and biting into it, just no.
Mm-mm. Oof.
That's a no. That's a
Yeah,
hard
that's a
no
no.
for me.
That's a no for me
Hard
too. That's a
no for
no for
me.
me too. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
then we
tomatoes more than watermelon is more
yes,
hydrating than watermelon?
yes, watermelon is only
Wow.
92. 92
Okay.
grams for 100. Yeah, I know. That's why I
Okay.
said I didn't think it was going to be that high, but it is. And bell peppers too. Bell peppers are 92%.
Yeah, you make
Let's
them.
see
They
what
make
else.
you can make some nice juices with that. I would
Yeah,
guess grapes are on that list. I would guess.
I didn't put grapes. No, I only did things that were 80 or higher.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what grapes contents are. You know what?
Because I know that they do have a lot of water
They do.
in them,
But you know what?
but
I can find that number out. Broccoli was 89. Let's see what else. Spinach is 92. Pineapples were only 87. Only
okay. Yeah, they have
87%.
got a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
only
fiber and things
87.
in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yellow melons, like the honeydew, that's
Okay.
91%.
Okay.
Strawberries are 91.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that
if
makes
a
sense.
strawberry is up there, then I would think a grape. But this list is, I just did the high 80s and 90s. So maybe it's like maybe 82. I don't know. I can find that number.
I don't know. Yeah,
Oh,
I feel like grapes are up there.
you know what surprised me?
What?
Mushrooms. Mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
91%.
Yeah.
90 mushrooms?
Yes.
I didn't. I
They're
did.
real
That's surprising.
porous, you know.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So one of the things I started working through some, you know, I as I coach other people on their health behaviors, I also work on my own health behaviors, you
Absolutely,
know, at the same
absolutely.
time. And so I'm working through this program right now where it really focuses on like the water content
Mm-hmm.
in the foods, right? So that's a big focus of mine right now. Is like making sure that I'm hydrated enough for everything to
Mm-hmm.
work properly, because that's the stage
Right.
that I am in my life, you know. And that's, as much as you don't think that I'm old.
Stop it. Stop it. We're gonna just disregard that. Strike that from the record.
But anyway, my point is that I moved from, you know, I'm at the stage in my life where I've moved from shifting from, do I look good, to do I feel good? Will I be aging healthfully? You know?
Oh my gosh. I feel like the whole aging process, yes, it naturally occurs, but a lot of that is mentality too. Because I've seen
Mhm.
some people who physically
Mhm.
they are a certain age, but when you look at them and how they speak and how they carry themselves, you would never ever guess
Yeah, you think
that
they're
they've
really
been on this
useful,
earth.
youthful. No, people,
Yes.
people, even with me, when I was talking to them, they're like, wow, I thought you were, you know, they be thinking I'm like 10, 15 years younger. And I'm like,
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's the thing. Or, you know, when you get carded at the movies, you know, that's the best. You're like, I'm like, oh my God,
For
oh, you
real.
get a card for the movie? Oh,
Oh
hell
my
yeah. Let me
goodness.
give you my card gladly. You know what I'm
Yeah, here you
saying?
go.
Like, I
Hold
love
on.
that. I love that. Wait, hold on, because you think I'm a teenager. Okay, boo, I got you.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me get in my
Loving
bag. Let
that.
me
Loving that. Okay, so we know that there's some fruits and some peppers and mushrooms that have the high water content. Oh,
spinach, yep.
and also vegetables.
Apples. Yep.
Nice.
So
And I
that's
love
what
that too,
I
because, like, you know, these foods are also, if we have more of them, you
mhm.
know, then not only are we being hydrated, but these are fruits and
Nutrient.
vegetables with a lot of
Mm,
nutrients. That's what I'm saying, with a lot of
mm.
nutrients. You know, they're nutrient dense, and they're
Yes.
like not, and they're not calorically dense,
Yep.
you know. So it
Yep.
works, and it just works in a lot of people's favor to do that, because you can eat more, right? You can eat more, have this weight, but not have as many calories, like the weight of the
Right.
food itself, and not have as
Right.
many calories, and also be satisfying, you know, your nutrient needs, and also satisfy your hydration needs. There's so many pluses to putting your hydration first that I think people don't all the way quite understand. And when you say like, oh no, you want to be more hydrated, they're like, okay, I'll go drink more water. And it's like, but it
Mm,
goes deeper than that. It's not just
mhm.
about that. And also, why are you hydrating? We need water before we need almost anything else aside from air, right? So like
Yeah.
we need air
Yeah.
immediately, but right after that we need water. You know, we
Water.
cannot go a long time without water, because we are water. And before
Yep.
even, let's say, you know, you're going to a place where like now you're in the extreme dehydration phases, there's all these other things, your body just starts to shut down. And
Yeah.
so understanding what that looks like, because I think we think as a general population that it's a little bit more dramatic than it is. Like I feel like it's more insidious. It
Subtle.
creeps upon you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's subtle, right? It creeps upon you, and then before you know it, it's too late.
Or, I
You
mean,
know?
we're seeing the signs. We're just not knowing that what that sign is actually saying.
Right. Like
You
your
know,
skin is
if it's
dry, you
mhm,
know, your
mhm,
lips are
the
chapped. I
mouth.
was having
Yep.
that issue. I was having that issue where I'm like, man, my skin is so dry, you know. And I was like, is it eczema? Like I've never had eczema. Like, what is it? You
Yeah.
know, and then I'm like, man, my feet, the skin underneath my feet and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And I'm like, I need to drink more water. So as I started tracking it, I started realizing, man, I'm not drinking nearly as much water as I thought I
Yeah. Yeah.
was.
I mean, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people, like in their, just think of the person that works, 8 hours during the day.
Hmm.
They're drinking coffee in the morning. I don't know if they're eating at their desks. They might have a lunch. They might have an apple. Then they're rushing to, if they have children, their after school activities, coming home to make something. But like, when else are they drinking or hydrating?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the majority of us, and especially if you're a part of our community and you're like working out with us and you're doing all this
Mm,
other stuff, then you're probably losing. And that's what I had to realize
yes.
is that I'm so active, I'm sweating all the time. I must
Hmm.
change clothes like maybe 2, 3 times a day, right? Because of the activities that I have going
Yeah.
on. And you need more hydration when
Yeah.
you are losing more water through sweat.
Yes.
So
You need
I'm
to
over here
replenish
like,
what you lost.
you need to replenish it. So I'm over here like, why are my lips dry? Why is, I got the
Ooh.
dry skin
Ooh.
here and my feet are dry. Like what's going on? And
Yeah.
not realizing that like I'm not paying enough attention to my hydration. And
Yeah.
there's effects on how I'm, your ability to think, your energy levels, all these, your ability to like all these things that can be, the hydration can be a part of the equation to why it might be off.
Yes. And it's a simple solution. It really is simple. We just have to be mindful of the signs or the things that our bodies are telling us and just know, okay, well, I don't want to drink water. I mean, you could get your intake through, tea. Well, that's still water, but like tea, your stews, like there are other things that are like hydrating to you. But I mean, stews, be careful of the sodium because you know, it's a
Back to the
balance.
original point,
Yeah,
like
it's a
does that
balance.
pull back some of the things, right? If you're going to flavor the water, because I remember I used to, really, really not like water. I really did not enjoy it at all.
Hmm.
And I had to put some flavor into it. So I
Oh,
started with
you
lemon
infused it?
juice. Lemon
Did
juice.
you infuse it? Oh,
I would just
okay.
squirt some lemon juice. I would just like cut because I know that people put like slice up different things and put it in there, then it becomes this infusion. But I would just take the lemon juice and squeeze it, or buy the lemon juice from the store. It comes in a little
Yes.
bottle
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
squirt a little bit of that, but not put sugar in it, right? So
Yes.
I would just squirt that in, stir it around, drink that, and that will make it, to a place where I could deal with that, right?
Right.
I never did like the flavor packets and all that stuff because I felt like they weren't natural. So I wanted some kind of natural solutions.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. Hmm.
the infusions, right, that you're talking about, like putting the
Yeah.
berries and putting all that stuff in and just
Cucumber, a little bit of mint.
cucumbers. Yes, exactly. And just like letting it
Yes.
sit. There are water bottles that do that for you. Like you can put
Yes.
it
The fruit in the
right.
middle. Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
make sure, please, this is going to go back to something we talked about before. Please make sure your fruit, vegetable, whatever it is washed.
Washed.
It is washed thoroughly because you don't want to just be sucking down bacteria and pesticides and wax and all of that. I mean, yes, you're hydrating
That's
your body,
right.
but you're also putting in those things that could have just easily been washed away. So just please
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're washing your fruits and vegetables, and just it's a good practice, whether you're going to be putting it in a water bottle or you're just going to be putting in a salad, whatever you're doing with it, please just wash it.
Mm-hmm.
Thoroughly.
And if you're at a restaurant, can I say this too? If you're at a restaurant and you ask for sliced lemons, put that on the side
Yes.
because they're not washing.
Yes. Yes. Always get it on the side. Always. Because just think about it, right? So a lot of times when you get like a lemon or a lime, it's coming from the bar, right? If you're at a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, they have the bar. They're putting it on the counter where they put the cups. They put when they bring the stack of cups back, they put it right on that same counter. They're rolling it in whatever juices they're cutting. Just think about all of that.
I know.
Just think about all of that. I mean,
You're getting grossed out a little bit, right? Thinking
yeah,
about it.
just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. Like, I don't know how often they're wiping the counter down and how often are they washing the rag that they're using to wipe the counter down? Or is it like I wipe it, then throw the rag down, pick up the rag again, wipe it again? It's like I'm just smearing the same germs that I just
Yeah.
wiped away. So
And your
yeah.
average person's not thinking of it, but because you are Dr. Ness and you understand how bacteria and viruses and all that, you've been to med school, it's like you see it in the world a little bit differently, aren't you? You're like, oh my God, that can just transfer so quickly.
Yes. Yes.
No, I know
This is
you are.
how these organisms invade the body. You'll let them right in.
Yeah,
You
give them a
swallow them.
ride. Come on in.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
put
Let's go.
And then that's
It's a
when we hope
party over
that
here.
our gut flora and the acids in our gut are like, okay, nah, we see you, foreigner, attack, you know.
Yeah,
Unless they're like,
yeah.
hey, let's get together. I see you, you see me. Let's colonize. Yeah.
No, we don't want
Then you got to
that.
get you some probiotics and some, yeah. So avoid all of that.
We
Just
gotta
get
we
it on
gotta
the
take
side.
over. Hostile takeover. All
Come
right.
on, I
So
see you.
we talked about, the way that we can hydrate through food.
Yes.
Is one way more superior than the other?
There's conflicting evidence, right? Or conflicting, I would say evidence, right? Because it depends on who's presenting the evidence. Some
Okay.
say the water is superior. They say water is best. Just stick with the water, stick with the water. Others say water is good, but our bodies benefit more when you're getting it from natural fruits and vegetables, because in addition to the hydrating portion, you're getting the nutrients that our body also needs. So it's a win-win when you do it that way.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. So maybe do a bit of both.
yeah,
Maybe do a bit of both.
yeah.
How do you measure? Okay, so you said it needs to be half of your body weight up until your body weight in ounces, correct? And then
Yes, pounds to
right,
ounces, right? So your weight in pounds.
2 ounces in fluid.
Yes.
Yeah, and half of that. Okay, got it. So if you're eating it, let's say you're like eating lettuce all day, for example, how do you measure if you've gotten enough water from that lettuce?
So you would have to know how much lettuce you're consuming, right? So for every 100 grams of lettuce, 95 grams of that is water.
So we just do the math to figure it out. Okay, cool. Got it. But I'm sure that there's a calculator that exists for this
There
out
are
here somewhere.
There's apps, there's calculators, they're all free.
Yeah.
Just go online and just, you could probably just Google how much water is in whatever the amount of food that you're eating. And it'll,
Good.
and I would just say cross-reference. Don't just look at the first one and say, okay, good, yeah. Just get like 2 or 3 sources. And if they're in agreement or generally in agreement, then you're probably in a good range, Nice. Don't always go with just the first one, because a lot of times with Google, I don't know if people know this, but it's not always about what information is most accurate. A lot of times there's ads. And so people that are pushing to get their information to the first page, because we as people generally don't go to the 12th page of Google to get our information, which we probably should, but that's a whole nother story.
The whole other thing.
That's a whole nother story. So just be mindful, get a couple of sources, that you're citing, and it's quick, just do, okay, that website says this website, oh, this article says this. And then, if they're generally in the same range, probably safe to say that's the number.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you need a scale is the point, people, right? You need to invest in a scale if you're going to do it that way, so you can know and make that connection and figure out what that calculation would be.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I'm excited for this watermelon, because you're going to see me. I'm probably going to be eating watermelon before we get on.
Good for you.
So good.
Good for you.
It is so good. But yeah, that's what I want to share. I'm going to share. There's actually, I have an article in here too. It lists like the top 10 like water rich foods, which many of them we already discussed, as well as the calculator, the hydration calculator, going off your weight, your age, your gender, your physical activity, your climate. And I think there's, your health conditions. I think there's something else. There's one other factor that they look at, but I'll put that in there.
Okay. I like it. I'm gonna be doing that for myself as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. So listen, if you haven't had this, thank you. First of all, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Ness. For everybody who is in our community, or even if you're not in our community and you're interested in coming on and like trying it out, I would recommend to do this hydration challenge. Yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not getting enough water. Or you're not hydrated.
That's
enough,
true.
Right?
That's true.
So, let's dig into it. 3 days, try a couple of things, learn a few things, about yourself, see how you feel in the end. See if there's a difference between how you feel being fully hydrated, at the end than you do in the beginning. We're going to be doing it in the group where we're actually opening up a new space for this.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be within our Grow Healthier space. But because that space hadn't been open before, so we're going to open it for the trial and also for the challenge. So we'll give you a trial of that program and also do the challenge, in that group, in that space.
Oh, you being nice. Oh, you being generous.
Nice. I'm being generous.
Oh,
yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Christmas in June.
You know how I do. I'm a generous person. I'm here for the people. Yes. Okay. I'm here for the people. You hear me?
Okay. Wow, that's actually really nice. So how do people sign up for this challenge? If they want to learn more, if they want to sign up right away?
Yeah,
what they do?
So they'll click the link. I also have links on my Instagram too, but also, from YouTube, you can click the link. I'll drop the link in the description. So you just go ahead and click there and just get set up that way. They'll have to go through a strategy session with like one of our mentors from the group, right? Just to make sure that like they have a plan going into it and kind of get a better idea of like what have they been doing so far, in terms of like their hydration and what are they trying to get out of it, so we can make sure that the needs are being met. But that's it. It's a quick call. Don't get nervous about the fact that it's a phone call. Like just quick little 10-15-minute call. Like what's going on with you, what you've been doing, what you want to get out of this. Let us best serve you. You understand? Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, click the link to join the Ultimate Hydration Challenge. Look at it, what we're going to be doing on each day, and then register to make the call with one of our folks, and then let's get you signed in. That's it.
Well, what is your Instagram? I mean, you told me to click the link in your Instagram, but what am I looking up?
That's right. At Coach Brandy Nick. At Coach Brandy Nick. Brandy, BRANDINIK. So Coach BRANDINIK. I don't know why. It's like, wait a minute. How do I spell my name?
You got it. At Coach Brandy Nick.
At Coach Brandy Nick. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right. And then you can see all the information there as well. Okay. All right. Well, listen, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Wellness Monday, kicking off June. And sign up for the challenge, y'all.
Yes,
don't forget to post the stuff in our community, because we need that calculator. We need that list of foods.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put the articles up there too. Look at this.
Awesome.
Just in time. Tell the people.
All right. Yeah. Say okay. Bye, Junior. No, he don't even want to wave bye. Okay. All right. We'll see you next week.
All righty. Take care, y'all.
Bye.